Okay, so what you have here is the deployment phase. So those weapons that we actually built on the world map, you can now take them in here, and you can place them as you wish in the battle before it starts, right? So you can recognize, look at the type of the castle that you're attacking, look at the strengths and weaknesses, and you can sort of place your weapons accordingly. You can look at perhaps the troop composition of your enemy. If they have a lot of archers, you might want to use a sort of maybe a mangonel to kind of destroy their defenses and their kind of cover. You can see that the destruction that we've got from the bombardment phase as well is already present on the castle. You can see it's missing some of those battlements. Here you have the, this is not like part of the game, by the way. This is just like a sort of showcase that we put together to show you the Sturgian troops. So you can see they have like sort of an interesting mix of faces there. This guy's got more of a big nose and a different kind of looking face. Everyone has their own faces, their own equipment, which is all like in their different slots, and like their gloves and boots. They're all unique, and so you get like a much more of an immersive feeling, and much more like a feeling that these are actual people that are in your army as well. So again, they're kind of like a mix between like the Nords and Vaegirs from the previous game, if you remember, like more of a Russian, Kievan Rus, Varangian Guard style faction. So big axes, big shields, very good in a siege scenario, like fighting inside gatehouses, inside towers. They're very effective in that melee combat that you have in sieges. So we can place our guys, place our weapons, get into the assault. So what we can do is, if we like, we can actually control every single one of these things, and we can say, okay, now use the siege tower, now push the battering ram, now use the mangonels. You can fully control that if you like, or you can just go, all right, guys, just go for it, and you can like let them like use their intuition, let them act independently, and they will kind of just do sensible enough things, right? If you place a siege tower, they'll push it. If you place a mangonel, they'll send people to man it, and you can like let your AI handle that if you prefer. This is one thing which is really, really important, right? Because it's Mount&Blade. Absolutely any of these weapons that you can see, you can completely go in there, control them yourself. So you can just push your soldier aside, say, all right, I'm going to handle this mangonel. I'm going to like turn it. I'm going to take the aim, and I'm going to smash over a piece of this castle. You can fully do that, and you know your guys can get killed. They'll send another guy over to actually replace that, and they'll like handle keeping these things manned and operational. But again, yeah. So the player can fully control anything they can see, and you see what happens here is we actually break off part of that wall. So that's a part of the battlement that we're going to break that off, and the gameplay effect of that is to make this guy operating the ballista and the archers behind, they're now more vulnerable, right? So as a player, you're gonna have an easier time hitting that person, and so are your like allies as well. Like your archers, they're gonna have a much easier time, and it's gonna be like more of a better chance if you're actually taking out those battlements. Keep an eye on this ballista here. Right, so what you see there is that we have all of the ballista, all of the mangonel, all of the siege weapons. They're actually all fully destructible in the scene as well. Along with all of these battlements, they're all destructible. The gate's destructible, and so you're getting a lot of these things actually working fully in the fight. And you also have burning damage as well. So if you're sending like flaming jars of oil, that can actually burn up enemy ballistas, and because they're wooden, they're gonna get hit more by that burning damage. One thing that's really, really important is like when we're designing the game, we looked at historical sieges. We looked at how they worked, the kind of techniques they used in defense and offense, and we said, okay, now why are they doing this? Why are they actually using these approaches, and how do they work? And we've made sure it's kind of working in like a realistic simulated way in game. So like you see up here, you have the towers which overlook the ladders, right? So they're actually looking over these vulnerable points and kind of working as an effective like defensive structure. It's not just for show. This is actually how historical castles work, and it's working like in our game as an effective simulation as well. So again, you see our guys using the battering ram. We can go over, we can grab that battering ram, we can join in with our guys and completely fight with them if we want. Again, another historical feature of this castle, it has two sets of gates. So the battering ram can smash down the outside, but when it comes to the inner gate, you're going to need to smash it down like with your axes, send your guys in to do that. We also have the murder holes above as well. So like the guys who are battering down that gate, they're going to be super, super vulnerable. And you're going to see like in a minute what happens. The defenders from above are going to start throwing things down. That's gonna make your guys really, really vulnerable here. Like when you're the attacker, you're really kind of check this out. You're really actually feeling under threat, and you're feeling like the losses that you're taking when you're trying to actually assault this castle, because it's actually designed to be held just like a historical castle is. And again, you see that guy who kind of fell down. That's completely unscripted. I mean, it's all just our gameplay working in a kind of dynamic, unscripted way. Our physics, our combat system, all just kind of working as it's supposed to, creating interesting results every time. Again, this guy, without his cover, much easier for us to hit. So now we come over to the siege tower. And the siege tower, in a way, is kind of the ultimate siege weapon, because you're like fighting on an even footing. You're getting up level with the walls, so you can actually have a good even fight with the defenders. But obviously it's much slower. You have to take a long time to push that into place. You see us charging now. The first thing you're going to notice here is a bunch of defenders come charging out of that gatehouse. So this is our intelligent defensive AI now reacting. They see the threat, they see the breach, and they send more guys to actually kind of close off that choke point and keep you outside the castle. So this is the AI just kind of reacting and being intelligent, giving predictable and logical results to the way that you're playing. So similar combat system to the last game. You have the directional combat all in place, and also kicks. They're all working. So we're going to keep fighting out with some of the defenders right now. We seem to kind of have succeeded in taking over like that part of the wall. They're going to be sending more and more guys. And so the important thing is that these guys that are coming out of the gatehouse, they were the guys who were like manning the murdering holes before, throwing down stones, throwing down jars. So by drawing them away, we're actually creating like a clear passage for our guys who are battering around the gate as well. So we're going to be like, even though it's a sprawling, large, expansive fight, the different elements are going to be affecting each other in interesting ways. So you see these guys are now unhindered. They can just batter down the gates without getting stuff thrown on them from above. These are our guys here. They made it through the ladders. I got a bit confused and like tried to hit him because I was like, oh, we're doing so well. It's insane. So they've been out the guys now kind of swarming the castle right now. This guy not paying attention. He's going to ragdoll, it's going to slide him down the thing. So we have like, it's all our own engines. So we kind of add in all the graphical features and all of the like interesting things that we need for our game. So you can also open this door. I don't do it here, but you can open the door as well. So if you can find space to do that, that's actually going to happen in the game. I'm going to quickly just pause here. So I want to talk about what these guys are doing. This is actually a tactical retreat, right? So they recognize, okay, the walls have been taken right now. So what they're going to do is they're going to pull back their guys, and that's going to be actually a second stage of a keep fight, which is going to happen with the guys who kind of retreated after the main siege event as well. We're not going to show that here, but that's when you'll play the game. You'll have that keep fight, which is kind of like a boss battle. The last remaining guys are going to be going in there, and you saw them like holding up their shields as well, reacting to the fact that I was shooting a bow at them. Well, guys finally make it through. The rest of the guys sort of swarming through the town. And again, we've kind of made sure that everything is working in the combat. It's all very physically based and all very kind of realistic now. So you see a few kind of errors here, but like you recognize that like we have the same system as the previous game. So you have like a ballistic system with the archery. So like you have to aim up to kind of like account for the ballistics and the trajectory of the bow. That's all working in a very physical, very realistic way. We even have the fact that just simply the fact that the defending archers are on higher ground, they're going to be able to use all the advantages of gravity when they're fighting it out with other archers. So like just the fact that they're shooting downwards towards the earth, that's going to give them more damage on their bows. Even that's just working like unscripted and just simulated as part of our combat system. So it's very, very detailed and very, very kind of accurate. So now you know it's Mount&Blade because you have all your guys cheering at the end of the battle, having a great time. What's going to come up now is some more detailed information about what's happening in the siege. So this is much more information than we provided in the previous game. So you can actually see the wounded, the killed, the wounded, the surrendered, the remaining, the kills they got, and also the ready to upgrade. You can see all that from the battle as well. So like, this is kind of really satisfying for us to actually kind of just create these systems and kind of like try and design it so that it works like a real siege, and we can actually see that it's been effective in the game, right? So if you look at the Vlandian archers and the Vlandian sharpshooters, between them they got almost 170 kills, just those guys, which is like the most of our deaths were from those archers. So you can see that's just because they have those advantageous positions. There's nothing scripted to say like archers plus 10 or anything like that. It's just archers being effective naturally in a logical way because they have great positions in a defensive fortification. So it's really kind of satisfying for us to see our design actually working in an unscripted way. Also, you can see, like, obviously, as the attackers, we've taken like really heavy losses. I mean, they lost about like 140 kind of guys, killed 307 or so. So really, it's going to be very punishing as an attacker. You're under a big disadvantage. Even if everything goes well, you're going to be losing a lot of guys in these sieges because you know, it's just a castle working as it should essentially. Same as the previous games, we have first and third person now. So this is a little bit of a look at the first person, and you're going to be able to see just our guys here. We have some cool blood decals, things like that. Facial animations, so you can see your guys actually like cheering, and like there's much more personality to the characters in the game as well.